You
want to stand or sit?
Okay. I don't care. If you want to take him, I will. This.
So I'll take Cam and sit. You stand.
Figure it out. We'll figure it out. Here you go.
Shoop.
You might need a burp.
All right, what is going on, y'all? Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Remember we decided we didn't like that?
Yeah, but it's not working on the other one, so it's not working anywhere. Hopefully y'all can hear us on the YouTube.
Okay.
Can you make it so that you can be seen?
Yeah, let me climb under here.
All right. So
Robert's gonna start us off today talking about menopause.
All right, menopause. I know a little bit about menopause, not so much from personal experience, though, more so from guests I've had on the podcast, hormone specialists, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll be the first to say that this is not my area of expertise.
Mine either.
Crystal's either. But real quick, menopause is basically defined as a period of at least 12 months in which a female has lost her period. Basically, it comes as a result of when you're a female, you're born with a certain number of eggs, and then as you age, your ovarian capacity dwindles. And as you get to perimenopause, and perimenopause is the time leading up to menopause, that's when your hormones start to enter a state of flux. Your number of eggs dwindles, and then as you hit menopause, that's basically when you've not had a regular period for 12 months straight, and boom, you are menopausal. You have gone through menopause, and for all intents and purposes, you're not really fertile. In that time, your hormones take a nosedive, specifically progesterone, estrogen rather, including estradiol and estrone, and testosterone. I said progesterone, right? Yeah. And DHEA are the main ones. There's also a flux going on with your luteinizing hormone and your follicle hormone. So when all that happens, several different factors occur. So when you are really, really low in estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, one of the main things that women experience is more risk of osteoporosis. Your bones become less robust. As you dwindle in those hormones, your ability to maintain proper bone health and density is diminished. So
resistance training is so important, especially for aging women.
Yeah, honestly,
can they hear us on there?
I don't know.
On Facebook and YouTube, can you guys hear us?
Yeah, let us know on Facebook and YouTube if you can hear us. We may just be talking and they can't even understand what we're saying. But all right, so for women, if you are eating properly, enough protein, enough dietary fat, not really any need for dietary carbohydrates. That's not a mandatory or required macronutrient. But if you are taking in ample calories, ample fat, and ample protein, that's going to set you up for success. Combine that with the fact that you're hopefully doing resistance training, which is also going to be doing wonders for building and preserving bone density and health, and also muscle mass, lean tissue, which includes bone density. That's going to set you up for success. Minimizing your stressors is going to be very key as well, because if your cortisol hormone is elevated in the context of significantly lower estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, you're going to be in even more bedlam. So you really want to try and keep an eye out for stress levels. Keep cortisol. Cortisol is a necessary hormone. It's not necessarily a bad hormone, but chronically elevated cortisol as a result of too much stress is certainly not optimal. A lot of women, like if you're perimenopausal, going through menopause, and you're already not eating the right diet, not training, and not sleeping, and you're really stressed out, you're likely going to experience all the bad things that people talk about when they talk about menopause. That's going to include the hot flashes, low libido, dry everything, dry vaginal walls. We'll just go down the gamut here. But
it's a huge symptom, though.
Yeah, so all that's going to be amplified for the worst if you're going into menopause or perimenopause not doing any of the right things. However, if you go into that phase of your life with your diet dialed in, with enough lean muscle tissue and lean mass to set yourself up for success. Because here's the thing: the more muscle mass your body has, that muscle tissue is going to do wonders for keeping your testosterone, your natural testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone levels in a healthier range than if you have very minimal lean muscle tissue, or muscle tissue rather. So let that be a known thing. If you're going into that phase of your life, hormonally speaking, with all of those things already in check and a pretty good degree of lean tissue, you're going to be doing way better than your peer group who is not doing any of that stuff and trying to correct course because they're experiencing these symptoms. If you're doing all those things, you're much less likely to experience those crazy negative symptoms. So once you're in menopause, a lot of people right now are in the debate of should you go the route of biological identical hormones, bioidentical hormones rather. Should you go the route of hormone replacement therapy? Should you take in exogenous estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, et cetera, et cetera? And some women definitely find benefit to that. 100%, no questions asked. However, I feel like a lot of people automatically turn to that without really getting those other things in check on the front end. And if you do that, you're not really doing yourselves any favors because you have no idea how much your body could mitigate against those adverse symptoms by simply just getting the right habits in place, naturally without having to go the route of exogenous hormones. Because here's the thing, when you go through perimenopause, menopause, that's not like a death sentence. It's certainly not an everlasting thing. It's honestly relatively short in the grand scheme of your lifespan. So if you go through that phase and you're taking a bunch of exogenous hormones that your body then kind of comes to expect, I would assume, again, this is not my area of expertise, but I would assume your ability to kind of wean off of those or kind of return to some degree of natural hormonal balance after that period is going to be a little bit harder. That's certainly what is the case with regard to performance enhancing drugs in the bodybuilding industry. So I would imagine it would be similar in that regard for those that abuse those throughout their hormonal flux during menopause phase. Whew. All right, I'm the guy in this relationship, and I'm doing all talking about menopause. You got anything down there?
I've never gone through it either. But I do have some things to say. Can I? Hello. No, I think it's fine. So on another end of the spectrum, not just the health and all of that, is a weird attitude that comes from women who are going through menopause or believe they are or whatever. And it is this attitude of, I'm going through menopause, so I'm allowed to be crazy. And I'm not saying that women who go through menopause are crazy, but the same thing happens with pregnancy. People are like, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I just had a baby and my hormones are crazy. And people do that around their periods. They're like, oh, I'm on my period. Oh, it's the week before my period. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And some people have like actual sicknesses that come with these times in life. But for the average Joe, a lot of people use that as an excuse to be a little bit lazy, eat a little bit more junk food, just not be as active because they have this excuse of, oh, I'm going through menopause, oh, I'm on my period, oh, I'm pregnant. Those are not excuses. They're actually reasons to grind harder. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're pregnant, you should be lifting way more. What I'm saying is that those are the times that you need to grind harder in how you're taking care of your health. Are you eating enough? Are you eating enough protein? Are you eating enough fat? Are you paying attention to how much sleep you're getting? Are you paying attention to resistance training and building that lean mass? Are you not over exercising, but exercising enough and doing something a little bit every single day? Things like that. I feel like a lot of women will gain weight during menopause or hold on to weight. And this is a very hard thing for a lot of women. But then again, they kind of use it as a crutch. So that's like my biggest thing, I think, is I've seen a lot of women go through it, and they're the ones that are paying attention to their health. They're paying attention to what they're eating. They're paying attention to how much exercise they're getting, how much sleep, how much water, all of those things. And they make it through with a little more ease. And I think there's always going to be challenges with it, just like there's challenges with pregnancy, just like there's challenges with periods. But I think that this is a time to like really zone into your health, and maybe it's not the time to focus on I need to be losing weight. Maybe it's the time to say, hey, I really need to be taking care of my body, fueling it properly, and exercising well. And unfortunately, a lot of times it happens right after all the kids move out of the house and mom decides, oh, it's time to work on me now. And by that point, a lot of the time you're already going through it. You already have a lot of weight on you. You're already pretty low in lean mass, and I'm not saying that you're stuck there forever, but what I am saying is that like try to get ahead of things. Try to start focusing on like how can I start bettering myself and not trying to cut down and lose all the weight. That's just going to mess you up even more. And I think it's just like this evolving cycle that like drives women crazy, is because they might hold on to more weight or they might gain a little bit of weight, but rather than breathing through that and taking care of their bodies, they either use it as an excuse or they just get so frustrated that they end up like fasting all the time, eating very little, over exercising, things like that. So that's it. That's my part.
Yeah, if you go into your perimenopausal and menopausal years, so let's just say between like the average age of menopause is 51 years old. So if you go into your 40s and 50s, and you are strictly compositionally speaking, not weight training, so you have and not eating right, so you probably have a lot of excess body fat, adipose tissue, and not very much lean mass. Your likelihood of gaining more adipose tissue and losing more lean mass and losing bone density is going to become amplified throughout that phase of your life, hormonally speaking. Now, if you go into that phase with a pretty low degree of body fat, in a healthy range, and you are weight training, you are eating right, you do have a pretty good degree of lean mass, the negative effects of those hormones in a state of flux is going to be much, much less amplified. So, like, hormones are very, very important, as we all know, when it comes to how your body composition is. How much of that weight is muscle mass, how much of that is bone density, how much of that is body fat. And you're not going to be doing yourself any favors, hormonally speaking, if you're going into those years without a healthy composition to begin with. So, yeah, there's my 2 cents on that.
There's our 4 cents altogether.
4 cents altogether. What kind of questions we got on the IG, baby?
All right. Hey, savages.
What's up? What's up?
Who's going through menopause?
Nobody that I know.
Nobody's
specifically.
Here.
Nobody here. None of us three are going through it.
Just leaving the gym, brother man. Hope you're doing good. Stud muffin.
Who's that? Oh, Bryce. What's up, man? How you doing? We need to work out, bro. That's my old college roommate right there.
Oh. Hey, superstars. I'm 41, but my hormones seem to be the best probably best ever.
Nice.
Yeah, will also depend on you as an individual. Like there are 50-something-year-old women who are still having babies, There's plenty of people in their 40s still having babies, still doing things very healthy. So yeah, definitely just keep that going. Keep, feeling good. Typo. Oh, ever. Just judging my healthy menstruation, feeling so great. Go keto. Absolutely. Women have a similar bone health risk when breastfeeding due to hormones. Yeah, and you have like relaxin and there's another one in your body when you're pregnant and breastfeeding. Which is important. It's important to resistance train. So when people are telling you when you're pregnant and breastfeeding to not resistance train, that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. I'm not saying you should go as hard as you can because there is some danger to that, but you definitely should be.
I don't think there's ever really a good reason to not resistance train. Like I can't think of any off the top of my head.
There is like a disease of like the ligaments or like something like that where they're like super loose, but that is extremely rare.
Yeah. All right, anything else on the IG? Should the pre-post workout routine change? Pre-post workout routine.
I think again it's gonna be
between menopause, I would assume.
Yeah. I wouldn't change my food per se. And I wouldn't really change my exercise either, or my warm ups and my cool downs.
You don't want to be in a crazy cut. Like if you're doing a drastic cut, like think about it like this. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, babe.
You did.
I'm dead. But if you're going through a cut and you're doing that cut, you're in a caloric deficit, you're not eating as much protein, not eating as much fat, not eating as much energy, so your ability to train hard is going to be hindered. If you're not training hard, your ability to retain muscle tissue is going to be hindered. And throw on top of that the fact that your estrogen, your testosterone, your progesterone are low, you're not going to be set up for success with regard to maintaining proper composition. So ideally, I wouldn't really recommend going into a drastic cut cycle when you're going through menopause. That should be a time where you're focused more on building and preserving lean muscle tissue.
I think stretching, different types of stretches, pre and post workout is key. If that's what you're talking about. I just finished treatment for breast cancer and am now on the anti-estrogen medication. I'm struggling. Should I increase my fats to 80 or 90% to help with weight gain, hot flashes, etc.? I am not comfortable answering that question. For me personally, are you comfortable answering that question?
I'm now on anti-estrogen medication. I'm struggling. Should I increase my fats to 80 or 90% to help with weight gain, hot flashes, etc.? So I would need to know a lot more about your blood work labs, like what they're actually showing. If you're on anti-estrogen for the cancer treatment, that makes sense. But I would assume that you still have, I don't know what your current baseline levels of estrogen are. I don't know what your current baseline levels of progesterone and testosterone are. I would need to know more of that. But I'm also not your doctor. Yeah. But I wouldn't, like if you're doing 90% and you're not taking in a lot of calories, and I would imagine, like, I don't know if you're doing, I don't know what your cancer treatment's looking like, but if you're not taking in very many calories and you're taking that high fat ratio, you're not going to get that much protein.
That was what I was going to say.
And that's not going to bode well for preserving lean mass either.
Yeah, you do. It is so important to get in your protein. So important to get in the protein. So if you're going to do 80 to 90% fat, then definitely make sure you're eating enough calories to do so.
You could totally eat that percentage of fat if you're taking enough calories to be getting enough protein.
And also, try things out and see if they are helpful. If you feel like trash, then adjust it. If you feel better, then keep going.
Let me get some of these YouTube ones knocked down. So yes, everyone said they could hear us, which is good. Barbara says, thanks guys for the menopause info. Not aging here. Done that. Now aged is my status. Please keep watch how close the mic is to dear Rigel. Thanks. Love you guys. Yeah, we won't let him bump his head this time for show. What camera are you using? What's up, Jay? We're using the Sony, I think it's the A. Let me look real quick. I'm kind of curious.
He's going to look real quick. I'm going to answer this real quick. Started carnivore a few weeks ago and loving it. Love that I don't have cravings. Carnivore is amazing. Yes, for a lot of people. What is it?
The A6600.
What?
Sony A6600.
Okay.
53 and postmenopausal carnivore cured all my symptoms. It's easier to do cross training as well. Love it.
All my questions.
I am 55 years old and I'm still having hot flashes. Been doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and have noticed this has helped. But I still get so hot. Have you gotten any blood draws, lab panels done recently? I'd be curious to see what those are. Also, one thing that I've noticed, not in my own personal experience because I haven't had hot flashes, but one thing I have noticed with my female clients that have gone through menopause and do experience hot flashes is they really double down on thermoregulation while they sleep. So one of them got one of those chili pads, which is basically one of those mattress toppers. The Sleep 8 or 8 Sleep company makes a thermoregulating mattress, but you can also get just the mattress toppers. And the Sleep 8 brand is super cool because as your body temperature rises throughout the night, it automatically adjusts and then cools that down. That's going to be a Band-Aid to the issue of that. However, it's going to have more of a direct effect than you think because while it's kind of a band-aid in the sense of it's cooling you down acutely. If you're not sleeping well because of the hot flashes, that's going to increase your cortisol levels. So if you're able to sleep better by putting that band-aid fix on just simply the acute temperature changes, by sleeping better, that may fix a lot of the underlying issues.
We got a hey, quick question. I am 43, eating the standard American diet for most of my life. Would and is it still beneficial for me to change my diet to keto carnivore? Absolutely. There's no point in life where it becomes unnecessary. Carbs are there is no essential carbohydrates. There are essential fats and there's essential proteins, but there are no essential carbs. So technically, if you're eating the standard American diet, eating junk, eating fast foods, eating things like that, there's no benefit to eating those things. So I would say absolutely, if you feel inclined to change your diet, then absolutely.
Rigel's been a fuss bucket all day, y'all.
Robert would know because he's been with him all day.
Well, Crystal's been texting me all day about how much of a fuss bucket he's been.
Yes.
And he's been like this all day?
All day. All day long.
All right, so we're gonna open up the Q&A for any other questions and answers that y'all got real quick.
We don't have any questions going forward, so if you guys want to list them off, I will write them in my notes.
By the way, while I've got y'all here, we got some exciting stuff happening this weekend with Keto Brick. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for some Keto Brick news this weekend.
And if you guys were not on social media this weekend, we launched the Faith Over Fear shirts. The women have a long sleeve
grab one right there?
shirt.
Actually, I don't have it over there. Never mind.
Okay. The women have a long sleeve shirt. The men have a long sleeve thermal. No reason that the women can't buy those as well. And then there's a unisex tee as well. So if you are a woman and you are looking at the long sleeve, make sure to size up. I look crazy in the medium, so definitely size up. Yeah. LiveSavageApparel.com.
If any of y'all are going to be in New York, I've never really been in New York. I think I traveled through New York once very briefly, but I'm speaking at the Keto Symposium in New York this weekend. I'll be speaking at 11:30, I think, on Saturday. I would love to see any of y'all, if y'all are close to New York, want to get some Keto Symposium tickets, show this country boy how to party in New York.
Please don't show him how to party in New York. We need him to come back home. What was the name of the mattress topper you mentioned? It sounds amazing.
All right, so there's two brands that I'm aware of. One brand is called Chili Pad, and it is a mattress topper. There's another product by the Chili Pad company called the Ooler. I think it's spelled Ooler or something like that. So those are two mattress topper options. There's another company that's either called 8 Sleep or Sleep 8. I'm not sure which of those two, but if you type in Sleep 8, it'll pop up. They offer a mattress topper and a full-blown mattress. So depending on which route you want to go, those are going to be good options. You want to try and hold them for a second?
Oh, buddy.
When we buy another mattress, I'm probably going to get the Sleep 8 mattress.
He thinks he is.
They're kind of expensive, but I mean, honestly, like mattresses in general are expensive. Like
Faith Over Fear t-shirts all sold out? Nope.
We still got them up for grabs. What fat to protein percent do you recommend for building muscles? Whew. All right, so that's a involved question.
Maybe
It
that
really,
should be a topic.
yeah. Have we not already done that one?
I don't know, but it's time to do it again, I guess.
All right, well, we will make that next week's. That's actually really good. We can dive super deep into that. So we will make that next week's topic. What fat to protein percentage do you recommend for building muscle? Huh?
Type it in there.
Type it in where?
Right there.
Fat to protein percent
He's laughing,
for
you guys. It's
building
so cute.
muscle. All right, that'll
These
be.
guys have not been able to see me because
That'll be next week's topic. Only seeing long sleeve on the site. So if you go to unisex, it's got all the options. So if you like, the t-shirts are technically unisex. So if you go to shop all, it shows everything and you'll be able to see that. If you go to unisex, it shows that as well.
Yeah, so we took everything off of our website because We want to do made in the US only. So we just have what we just launched this weekend, which is only the Faith Over Fear. If you go to women's, it will just pop up the long sleeve. If you go to men's, it will just pop up the thermal. But if you go to unisex or all, then it'll all three will pop up with the t-shirt and everything.
Already ordered my t-shirt. Can't wait to get it.
Yay!
Can't wait for you to get it. Thank you, Melissa. I hope you are planning on making butter maple pecan. My absolute favorite. Baby Rigel is adorable.
Oh, thank you.
We may just be making some of those. We need to make a Rigel themed brick. What would be a good one for that? The spit up brick.
Gross.
I'm joking. The chili sleep is a life changer. Yeah, I've never actually slept in one of these, but everybody, like I've had the owner of Sleep 8 on my podcast. I haven't ever had the Chili's sleep pad people on the podcast, but like the people that I know that have those swear by them. So
ordered their t-shirt yesterday.
Very cool. What is your website again for t-shirts? It is livesavageapparel.com. I think I can probably type it in here.
You know what's funny is when someone reads Live Savage, they oftentimes read it Live Savage.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. It's definitely Live Savage.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Definitely Live Savage. All right. Pumpkin spice, says Sandra. All right. We have got some. We've got a meeting that we're going to right now. So we're going to call it a wrap for the Live at 5 today, y'all.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Check it out.
Maybe you guys will be able to see me next week.
Yeah,
over here on IG.
I don't know why it wasn't working. We'll get this whole mic situation figured out. Hopefully the audio is super crisp though. All right, catch y'all later. Much love. Ta-ta for now. Toodaloo. Adios. See